Hello, I'm Iqbal Khan and welcome to Make Bonsai. Today I'm going to be working on third of my willow bonsai trees. This and the previous two trees were made into bonsais grown from cuttings taken from a big willow tree. So stay tuned. Hey, it's me, Iqbal Khan. If you have not yet subscribed to mikbonsai, then click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to subscribe and receive notifications as I upload new videos. Hello, welcome back. This is the third of the willow bonsai trees that I'm working on today. It hasn't been worked on for quite some time, and I did take the excess roots off while I took the other two trees out of the water drain which they sat, and there are still all these roots at the bottom which I'm going to remove. I'm going to take the tree out of its pot and place it in this tray. It's quite stuck. The roots have really established themselves, and I'll have to sort of use a sickle to cut round it, and we'll catch up once I've located the sickle. This is the sickle that I'm going to use to go around the pot and hopefully ease the roots out like so, and repeat the process right round so that I can lift the tree out of the pot. It's quite heavy. There's a lot of roots there, so we'll try and sort of tidy up the roots as well. Nope, still refusing to come out. Right, let's see if I can lift it out of the pot. Yeah, there it comes. There we are. I'll clean up the pot as I'm going to be repotting it in the same pot, and we'll catch up shortly. Tree is very badly root bound, and I'm going to use this serrated knife to make 4 cuts on the sides, and these are the roots that will be removed anyway. So there is no harm, but it will just speed up the process. So the first cut is going to be here, and the second one on this side here. Just makes it easier to work with the roots, and the third one on this side here. And the last one on this side here. Right, so we'll now continue with this little bonsai rake and work the soil and free the roots. It's going to be a sort of slow and tedious process, so we'll catch up as I make progress. The tree is so badly root bound that I've had to use a serrated knife to cut around the outside edge of the roots, and so I've removed this bit from this side, and I'm going to continue until all this is done. The tree was so badly root bound that I had difficulty working the edges, and I'm having to use a serrated knife to remove the roots which have made it so badly root bound. So I'll continue with that to remove the outer roots, and hopefully, and also I'll have to do the same with the roots at the bottom of the pot. Right, we'll tidy up and catch up shortly. So that's what it looks like for now. I'm continuing with the tidying up of the roots, and there's a fair amount to do, but the soil is now coming off quite easily where the roots haven't tangled. I have finished cleaning up the pot and used the same wire meshes, and the anchor wires are in. It's a big tree and difficult to hold in, so I've done that. And next I will add horticultural grit at the bottom, and so that will go at the bottom. And then I will add a layer of this cat litter that I use. This is now no longer available, so this is the last of the cat litter. However, I will be starting to experiment with a different sort of material, and to find out what it is, just make sure that you don't miss any of my future videos. And at this stage I'll add some of these chicken pellets, and then I also add a further layer of the soil that I use, so that the chicken pellets are not in direct contact with the roots. And also in the water I put in powder 10-10-10 fertilizer and dissolve it, so it's not short of food when it starts to get going. I have cleaned and pruned the roots quite a bit, and this is the final sort of prune, and I've combed them out, and I'm going to remove this root here. Is a bit higher than I would like them to be, so that goes. Same applies to that root there and these roots here, so we'll take them out. Also, I'm going to change the planting of the angle slightly, as it was leaning in one direction and doesn't quite look right. So we will firstly clean up these roots which are higher up. And same thing with this one, is growing straight up. And again, these are growing upwards, so I'm going to have to trim them so that they don't grow in this direction. There we go, that takes care of that. It's quite a thick root, but growing in the wrong direction, so it had to come out. And here again, this is growing upwards, so I'm going to take these out. Leave that thick root there, that's quite nice. And also these roots here. You will see why I'm doing this, as I intend to change the planting angle. All the growth at the top is in one direction, so by changing the planting angle, it'll balance up the top of the tree. So having cleaned up the top, I'm going to prune off these long roots. They will grow again fairly quickly. Rooting is not an issue with these trees, provided they are kept in a tray of water or a bowl of water. That works very well for them. And also at the bottom I'm going to remove these so it's as straight as the bottom. I've removed more roots so it's as straight as possible, so it'll sit like that, and we will carry on shortly. Before, the tree was at sort of an angle which was growing like this. Now I'm going to change the angle and straighten it up a bit, and that's why I did the root work, so it looks a little bit more balanced, and this sort of comes over to this side as opposed to everything going in one direction, and so that will enhance the look of the tree. So I'm still going to keep it about here-ish, around of here, and we'll now complete the securing of the tree in the pot, and we'll carry on shortly. I'm now securing the tree in the pot. I've done this side, and so it's over to this side now, and I've changed the angle of the planting so the tree looks more of a tree as opposed to bold on one side, and the branches will be more fuller at the top, and as the new branches grow it will become a proper willow tree. So that's that one done, and I'll just tidy up and we'll catch up shortly. Having secured the tree, I'm going to complete repotting with putting more of this last lot of cat litter. After this is gone, that's it, I have no more, and the manufacturers have stopped making it, and the cat litter is no longer available from suppliers where I used to purchase it from. I had bare rooted the tree, and now I will use these chopsticks to drive the soil in between the roots where the old soil had been removed, and I'll just carry on with this as it's nothing exciting, so we'll catch up once I've completed doing this. It is now time to thoroughly water the tree, so here we go. Now, as I said before, this cat litter is no longer available, and I have come across another material which I intend to experiment with, and if you want to know what it is, you'll have to watch my future videos and see it in use. Now I will let this drain and then take it back to the bench where I was working on, and we'll give it a light prune. As you can see, I've changed the angle of the planting, and it looks much better and much more fuller at the top as opposed to when it was leaning to one side and all the branches were going in one direction. And on this side, where I'm removing this dead branch, there was a big problem. There was nothing growing on this side. So these now branches at the top are coming in this direction, and I'll remove these some of these dead branches, which happens. There is fair amount of dieback over winter months, so prune them back a bit. And also I'll be using guy wires at some stage to hold them back. I'm going to cut this one here, so we then have this branch which will take over, and same thing with here. There's a little branch here, and I'll cut it under here so that this branch then takes over, and same thing with this one. We'll cut it here so this branch takes over, and I want to keep the branches sort of nice and thin. I want to keep the branches nice and thin as opposed to sort of thick and sort of strong, and it basically enhances the trunk if the branches are thin and small. And we'll repeat the process on this side here like that, and same thing here. There's a branch here, this one here, so we'll cut it just below that to allow for a bit of dieback. And this one I'm going to wire it up or use a guy wire to pull it down, and we'll repeat the process over here. And same thing with these. Again, these I will use guy wires to hold them down and get them into position. There's no point wiring them because they grow so fast. It'll just damage the branches, and wire marks are horrible and take forever to. I'll just turn it. It's too big for the turntable, and a little bit more dead branch here, which I will remove, and also cut some of these back to about there, and let these thinner branches take over. Just the two thin branches, they'll take over from here, and we'll do the same with this one here and here, with this one up here. I think that should do. I've removed fair amount of branches. That's the amount I've removed, and I think that should be enough for now. And I'll give it a quick turn so you can see it from all sides. And that is going to be the front, but it'll need further tilting when I next replant it. We're not done with it. It still has a long way to go before it is a half decent bonsai tree. There's some more dead wood which I will try and get rid of. There's some here. And also here. Up here is interfering with the taper a little bit, so by removing it, it enhances the taper over here. Now there are two branches from this end, and the risk is it'll probably thicken up too much, and also here there are two branches, so I'm going to have to remove one of them. I'm going to remove this one as it's crossing over this branch here, so that's gone. We'll just clean up a little bit. And from this side I have removed one branch from here, as there were two, and now we're just left with this one. And there are too many branches here. Again, there are two branches here, so that can make the area bulge, and we end up with reverse taper. So I'm going to remove this branch so that we reduce the number of branches, and also overall in bonsai less is more, and so that's where we are. Shorten this a bit more. I'll on second thoughts, reduce it a bit more. Right, I think as far as pruning goes, that should be enough. I've pruned it a bit more at the top. Unfortunately, that went off camera, and I thought I'd show you what it looks like anyway. I just wanted to show the trunk a little bit close up. It was all yellowy, the branch, when I took the cutting, and gradually over the years is starting to become more of a bark of the tree. The color is changing. It's not done yet, but it started down here and is slowly moving up. And on the side, this is quite nice. That's the color I'd like it to be. A bit of dead sort of vein here and here, but that will be sorted over a period of time, and we'll remove it if necessary. But here is quite nicely getting brown, and here where we removed the branch, or where the cut was from the other, this is where the original cut was in the branch, and these branches are all new, and it's callousing over quite nicely, it's healing quite well, and just keep turning, and that's where we started. I'm going to give it a full 360 so you can see what the final product is. This is what it looks like. I'm quite pleased with it. Having straightened it up, we've got branches all the way around as opposed to just lopsided on one side. So here is the rest of the tree, the other sides. And this is where we started. It's going to go back into its tray, which has water and powder fertilizer 10-10-10 dissolved in it, and it'll stay there in shade for at least 2 to 3 weeks before I bring it out in the sun. Thanks for watching. That's all for now. This is Iqbal Khan for mikbonsai in West London. Until the next time.